a new mission, whatever that may be. Learn how treatment works and recovery is possible. Visit maketheconnection.net.
Tune your radio.
Tune in.
Now.
You can tune in to this radio station on any smartphone or tablet.
iPhone,
Android,
BlackBerry,
Nokia,
Samsung,
Windows phones,
or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store.
Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy.
From over 70,000 radio stations around the world, including this Beasley Broadcast Group station. Check it out at tunein.com
or your app store.
Hey, folks, just a quick reminder that no matter the time of the day and no matter what day of the week, East Coast, West Coast, all points in between, we are always on. So go to your app store and download the Real 1100 app and listen wherever and whenever.
The Real. You're tuned into WWE AM 1100.
The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
And we are back with another installment of the number one rated business show right here on the Real 1100 AM. I'm your host, Kevin C. Pride. We got 6 folks tuned in already on Facebook. How y'all doing today? And we are back with another installment. Thank y'all so much for joining us again for the number one rated business show right here on the Real 1100 AM. Once again, rest in peace to United States Representative John Lewis. He is lying in state right now. And I know a lot of people are so heartbroken about it. So our hearts and prayers do go out to the family of John Lewis. We thank you so much for all that you have given to us, Georgians. Also, we just completed the GMBA Awards, the Georgia Minority Business Awards. We had a great time. We social distanced. We wore masks. It was a little weird, I got to be honest. I think a lot of this COVID is really starting to change people. We're going to get into that a little bit. But we did have a great time at the GMBA. Congratulations to all of our Georgia Minority Business Award winners. You are so well deserved. Mike Bell, Angeline Butler. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. If you are trying to get your fit on, if you're trying to lose a few pounds, if you're trying to get your exercise back going, Titans Fitness out in Smyrna is a great place for you to go. They are a custom state-of-the-art gym. No, they are not just for bodybuilders. They are for everybody. They are located at 1834 South Cobb Industrial Drive. And I promise, ask for Rachel, ask for Daniel. They are some of the best trainers I've ever worked with. And don't take my look as their results just yet. All right, we're going to get it right. We need about 90 more days. Jump and Joy is open at 2115 Fairburn Road, Douglasville, Georgia. We are back. We are open. We are social distancing. We're keeping all our kids safe. But please join us from 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. Tuesday through Sunday and 2115 Fairburn Road at Jump and Joy. Joining me today on the line is the world's, should I say world's? I don't know about the world's, but he is America's #1 alpha leadership expert, Terry Budgett. He's on the line with us today.
Hey, Kevin, how's it going?
I'm doing wonderful, man. How about you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Now, you recently wrote an article for the Atlanta Business Journal that is kicking up a lot of traction. So I wanted to just get you on the line and talk to you a few minutes about it. You said,
sure, I'd love to.
Tyranny at large, democracy or autocracy. Is that how you say that word? Autocracy. I believe that's how you say it.
Autocracy. Yeah, that's correct.
So explain that to us a little bit.
Autocracy deals with one individual assuming complete and total power over a group of people, nation, country, and so forth, where their power seems to be or exuded as absolute.
Now, in this article, you mentioned how the Trump administration's authority is becoming so egregious that they are dispatching federal officers to police their own citizens without any requisition from local levels to do so. Explain that a little bit for me.
Okay, what's been happening is that in the specific areas where they're demonstrating for the Black Lives Matter cause, the president has dispatched his federal officers, which is somewhat like in the capacity of military, but of course, they don't show their faces, don't show their insignias or any affiliations. which raises concerns to the individuals that are being taken off the street without probable cause. Because if you've seen it on television, you have individuals who are masked and have the Velcro police strapped across their chest. But my question is, why are you taking these people off the street if they're not causing or committing any crimes? In the military or in government, we call this posse comitatus, which is actual use, the forbiddance of using military in state situations or as the state authorities.
Now, a lot of people saying that all he's doing, or let me take, not a lot of people, they are saying that what they're doing is protecting federal property, and they have every right to do so. What do you say about that?
If they're protecting federal property, then how come they're taking them off the street and they're not doing anything to federal property? Wow. I can understand placing guards around those areas to prevent it from happening, but what you've seen on television, CNN, MSNBC, these individuals are being taken off the street without probable cause or without due process. Because from my perspective, as I've seen on television and what's been perpetuated in the news, is that these individuals are taking these people off the street, putting them in unmarked vehicles, and that's the last we hear.
Wow.
So my question is, what's going on? What gives the individual, specifically the government, more specifically the executive branch, the authority to dispatch federal officers in an area that's state-controlled, and they weren't invited to do so?
Now, is this in reference to Portland in particular?
Exactly. And from what I'm understanding, he's about to dispatch more.
Wow. Now, you also said he's remaining focused on what appears to be totalitarian efforts considered to continue the level of misinformation regarding the pandemic by this occupant of the Oval Office. Explain that a little bit to us.
Okay, here's what's being presented. He presents or has the persona of that his authority to do certain things is completely his own.
Okay.
Which means he doesn't answer to anyone. His whole focus has been on getting the re-election and holding on to power instead of basing his concerns on what's in the best interest of the people. So when you focus on what's happening with the pandemic, Black Lives Matter, and situations that are plaguing this country, that's not his focus. His whole intent is to hold on to the seat of power. And as a result, he's not listening to the experts, and the country is the one that's suffering behind his antics.
Now you're starting to see him change the tone a little bit because, now they've canceled the Jacksonville thing. He's saying it's patriotic to wear a mask, so he's starting to change the tone just a little bit, don't you think?
From my perspective, it's not because he wants to, it's because he's told to. And the reason why is because of falling poll numbers.
Okay.
Now, those poll numbers, you have to understand, it gets to a point where if you're not representing the people aren't idiots. They see what's going on. So if your whole focus is to generate enough rally cry to perpetuate or elevate your own rhetoric, and it's not in the best interest of all the people, then everything that you're doing is to create, from my perspective, an autocratic society where everyone answers to you. If you look at what's been happening over the last several weeks, you see that the experts, Dr. Fauci and so forth, have been taken out of the spotlight to address the pandemic. Now, if you look at what's happening, people are still dying, and they're dying in greater quantity. We're talking about more so than both world wars, and we're talking in massive quantities. As a president, your responsibility is to set the example and place the people above your own personal agenda. Okay, I get it. You want to remain president. That's fine. But your responsibility and that of any government is first the welfare and the safety of its citizens, not their hold on power.
Wow. Now, you said the nation is in desperate need of genuine leadership. Now, you are the alpha leader of the nation, okay? You are America's number one alpha leadership expert. So tell us what genuine leadership should look like.
First thing is this, truth. Any leader has to set the example and first be honest with the people. If you look over the past several months since this pandemic began, and for that matter, the beginning of the presidency, everything has been misinformation. I believe it was Sun Tzu in The Art of War who said, all war is deception.
Wow.
The problem is, for him, is that the people can see the deception. And it's fact checks are being done to check everything that he says. My question is not how many lies has he told, is how many truths has he ever told?
Okay.
So we have to understand that his whole, and this is just my perspective, opinions may differ. From my perspective, if he's going to really set an example, then set it. Well, in its context, society understands that we're in a pandemic and that we are losing lives by the hundreds, if not thousands, on a daily basis. One of the triggers that helps to slow down the virus is the wearing of masks. You are the president of the United States, the representative of this nation, and you're telling society and your citizens, well, you can wear it if you want to. Okay, well, last time I checked, people are still dying because they haven't worn it. If you're going to set the example and let people and tell people that they need to wear it, then wear it yourself. Set the example. Communicate that message. Most people don't listen to what you say; they listen by what they see.
Wow.
And if you're going to perpetuate the act of a true leader, then set the example of one. Don't just hold the office of power. Represent what power looks like.
Wow. Now, I just had to get you in to comment on this because we're getting such so many comments and so many people asking us about the article that you wrote. It's obviously a very fiery topic here in the nation. A lot of people got so much to say about it. You ended this by saying there's a proverb that I love. The way of the fool is right in his own eyes, but a wise man listens to counsel. Break that down for us.
Only a fool believes that his way is the only way. You may know some things, but you don't know everything because you have specific gifts and specific talents and specific areas, but you can't know everything. That's what other people around you are for. Oh, wow. That, by the way, that's why you have advisors who have specialization in areas that you don't. He made a comment before, I believe it was something to do with the Taliban. Okay. He made a statement. He knows more about the Taliban than his generals do. Last time I checked, you never served. Last time I checked, you've never been in that realm.
Okay.
So let the experts do what the experts do. Do what you're supposed to do as the commander-in-chief and listen to those who have knowledge that you don't. Every leader understands, let me be more specific. Every true leader understands that they don't know everything. So they surround themselves with people who are strong in areas that they're weak. If you want to be a strong president, understand your strengths and understand your vulnerabilities and understand your weaknesses, and surround yourself in the areas that you are weakest with people who are strong in those weak areas.
Wow.
That's what leadership is.
Well, Terry, thank you so much for joining us today. I had to get your comments in because we got so many people asking us about this article. So I definitely wanted to make sure that you had a chance to kind of respond and kind of explain it just a little bit more to our audience. Because, I mean, I promise you, you are really making some waves writing for the Atlanta Business Journal. We definitely appreciate having you. If anybody wants to know any more information about alpha leadership, learning the alpha philosophy for leadership, where can they go to find out more information?
You can go to my website at www.terrybudget.com.
All right. That's once again, Terry Budget. Thank you so much for joining us today on the program.
Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate you having me.
All right, man. In studio with me today, I got the one and only Dr. Evan Brody from Georgia Podiatry. How are we doing today?
I'm doing excellent, Kevin. How you doing today? Thanks for having me.
Now today our show is actually about health. I know we got a little bit on a rant, but we had to respond to some comments that we were getting on an article that was written on the Business Journal. But today is actually about health. Explain to a few people. I don't know, podiatry now, is it more foot and ankle surgeon now, or are we still rolling with podiatry?
It depends on, I guess, the exact scenario, but I would say they're synonymous terms in my mind: podiatrist, foot and ankle surgeon. They're both pretty synonymous. Some podiatrists don't do surgery, I suppose. So for someone like myself who's a board certified surgeon, podiatrist, foot and ankle surgeon, I would use those interchangeably.
Now, why is foot and ankle specialist so important and so needed in this day and age? Because I think a lot of people misunderstand, like, your feet take all the abuse. So why is it so important to take care of your foot health?
Excellent question, Kevin. I would say that lot of people have all different sorts of ailments, from injuries to trauma to foreign bodies to systemic problems to diabetic ulcers. So the feet are very important. I mean, to me, it's not unlike any other part of the body. Every single part of our body is important to us, and our feet carry us everywhere we go. So it's really important to take care of your feet if you want to be upright and to be able to walk around. And we definitely need to take care of our feet.
Now, are you seeing a difference now in patients and patient volume and that type of stuff due to the COVID-19 that we're experiencing?
Yeah, excellent question. So due to Corona, we saw definitely a big drop for a while.
Okay.
As far as medical personnel, we're considered essential workers, but we weren't encouraging all kinds of people to come in for different reasons, social distancing, wearing a mask. So we were seeing more of the diabetic foot wounds, some things that couldn't wait. We were seeing more in the office. A lot of people, I think on both ends, we weren't excited to have an office full of people and people being at risk. And at the same time, people were staying home because trying to protect themselves. So it's kind of I think from both ends, we definitely saw a decline in our patient volume. I don't know if it was in the middle of March when when the kids kind of stopped going to school.
Yeah.
We definitely saw a huge decline. Things seem to be about back to where they were pre-Corona at this point. But, we definitely take measures. We measure take our temperatures every day and start taking temperatures of patients. And we always wear a mask in the office to protect other people and protect ourselves. So definitely it's not the same as it is everywhere, going to Home Depot or or going to Publix or wherever it is that you go. Things would look a lot differently than they did before, and the office still looks differently, but as far as the volume goes, it's not so bad.
We just had a pretty large event, I guess, for the whole COVID thing. We just finished the Georgia Minority Business Awards, and one big thing I did notice, of course, our guest list went from 500 to 250 down to about 100 people actually showing up. And we were socially distanced. We had tables, spread apart. Only the people that came together sat together. Everybody was required to wear masks the whole time. But it's starting to be very awkward. Like, human interaction now is starting to get so awkward. Are you starting to see some of that?
Yeah, we do. I mean, if you're talking about just in general or in the office kind of thing?
Just in general.
Just in general, yeah. I mean, I think for sure those things, like when I introduced myself to your assistant today, we're always, we don't. I used to shake hands with everybody. We don't obviously do it anymore. It's always that kind of elbow, forearm bump that we're doing for everything. So yeah, it is awkward. I think we look at people like they could have it, and and we don't want to give it to them if we have it. So it definitely is still different, I think, socially, and then in the office as well. I mean, it's hard to get away from thinking about Corona, I think, still.
I know
what's going on.
I don't know, man. It's just I'm kind of scared that we're not going to go back to a normal society ever. I think once we get the vaccine, everything becomes a lot better. But it's just people right now. I think people it's so awkward to have that interaction anymore. I'm starting to worry. Are we going to ever get back to a normal?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I think that someday we will get back to normal. I think that we've been, I wouldn't say spoiled, but I think my opinion is that human history is riddled with terrible diseases. I mean, if you look at the Black Plague, Spanish flu, I mean, things have come around in the human species and wiped out. Some things have wiped out half the population. I think that we just had it so good for so long that we didn't really think about getting diseases from other people like that. Obviously there's, different types of sexually transmitted disease. We all, we're aware of that, but just regular human interactions, there was no risk of I believe before about contracting anything. But now that the cat's out of the bag, and this is to me part of the history of the human species. But I think for a long time, till we get a handle on this new Corona thing, I'm hoping that eventually things will go back there. But for right now, I don't see it changing anytime soon. The new normal, they say.
Man, it's really bugging me because I'm a people person. I like to be around people, and it's like I'm always stuck in front of a computer screen looking at people through a box now. So it's just weird.
It's not fun. It's not the way we're wired.
I know. Now, a lot of people are starting to get out and do a lot more exercising now. A lot of people, starting walking and hiking and this type of stuff. I'm still personally a little afraid of the gym. I try to go, but it's like I'm going now. I don't think I'm going. I will go. No, I'm not gonna go. But a lot of people are out, walking on the trails, still trying to get exercise out there. What are some good tips that they can do to make sure that they are being healthy, making sure that they are wearing the proper shoe gear so they don't end up with ankle sprains and Achilles tendonitis and all these other conditions?
No, it's a great another good question. What I would say is that proper shoe gear would be number one. I personally like REI. You don't have to go to REI. I mean, but you want a good supportive shoe. I like Asics, and there's a bunch of them out there. Keen, Solomon's. It just depends on your exact foot type and what's best for you. And then also a good arch support in the shoe, particularly to ward off against maybe posterior tibial tendonitis and other conditions. But if you got anything going on, it's always good to see a professional, get professional help so they can kind of help get you past that pretty quickly, so you can kind of keep doing what you want to do if you're motivated to get into shape. And then the other thing is kind of start off slowly. If you haven't been used to doing it for a while, to try to go do 10 miles or 12 miles, you're probably going to get an overuse injury. So, so I would definitely say start off slowly. Start off just walking a mile before you run. Walk a mile, do that a couple times, a few times a week, see how it feels, and then slowly, methodically, especially for the older. I'm 50 now, so as we get older,
50?
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't believe it. You look young.
Thanks, man. So as we get older, you definitely want to think more about that. Even though you might be real energetic, you might be really driven, you almost have to watch yourself and pull back a little bit, because you don't want to get overzealous and then have an injury, and then it sets you back real far, and then you're kind of defeating the purpose of you trying to get into shape.
I got you. Now, a lot of runners have so many issues like flat feet. I know a lot of times when I get out and start trying to run, because I'm flat footed, I like using the Nike. What are these? The Vapor Max.
Yeah.
I love these type of shoes. What do you think about the Vapor Max and this type of stuff? Or should I be more like a New Balance type person?
No, you don't have to be a New Balance type of person. I think the Vapor Max is pretty good. There's a little test that we do. I could demonstrate on my shoe, but basically you want to bend it. It should bend where the big toe joint is, and the rest of it should be pretty solid and supportive.
Okay.
And like I said, and then depending on what kind of insert you put in the shoe, that can really help shore it up a little bit, make it more structurally stable.
Now you are a super health person. You like keto diet, constant exercise. You drop pounds. I mean, you ripped. What are some suggestions should I be doing right now to get some of this COVID weight off? Because I know a lot of us are suffering from COVID and not the disease, but the extra weight from sitting on our butts for so long.
Sure. I mean, that's a great question. I mean, I like the old saying that muscles are built in the gym and abs are made in the kitchen. So I think it's a simple formula. It doesn't matter what type of diet you're on. I still think it goes back to the old calories in, calories out.
Okay.
So if you're not on a special diet, you just kind of want to watch. You probably watch your portion size, reduce your total calories, and then also incorporating exercise into it. The way I like to think about it is I try to be a better version of myself every day, and you want to be good to your future self. So if you decide, I really don't want to exercise today, and you make that decision a couple days in a row, what is your self next week going to be like? Are they going to be upset you made those decisions, or are they going to be happy about it? So if you just kind of get in and do something, I just look at it, I break it down to each day. So I value my body and take care of yourself, just like we talked earlier about taking care of your feet. Take care of your whole body, the exercise, cardiovascular health. Cardiovascular disease is still the number one killer for all of us.
Really?
So it's good to exercise and do cardiovascular activity. And I think a thinner, or I think you have less diabetes, type 2 diabetes, less high blood pressure. All the studies show that you wanted to have weight control. So it's basically calories in, calories out, and adding some exercise can help burn the calories. But you kind of if you just reduce your portion size a little bit, a big popular thing I do is intermittent fasting. Okay. So that's another idea, is to try to do a window of opportunity. I really like keto a lot. Keto is a higher fat diet.
Explain it, because we keep hearing this keto. What does that actually mean?
So that's a great question. So vegetarian, the way I look at it is vegetarian means you don't eat meat.
Okay.
It doesn't really tell you what you're eating. It just tells you what you're not eating.
Okay.
So you could be eating junk food all day long. You could be eating Oreos and say I'm a vegetarian. And you could be eating garbage. It doesn't mean, just because you're vegetarian doesn't mean you're eating a good diet. Keto is just a certain restriction. All it means is 75% of your calories are from fat, 20% of your calories are from protein, and 5% of your calories are from carbs. So it's a lower carb diet, but not just a lower carb diet, but a higher fat diet. the increased fat makes you satiated, so you're not hungry so much anymore. So it lends itself to intermittent fasting. I got a buddy of mine from podiatry school, Doug, who just lost about 100 pounds within about 10 months on keto. He was over 300 pounds, and now he's under 200 pounds. So, it's all over social media. I see success story again. It's just the one consistent thing that I see success story after success story. It's interesting diet because for me, you have increased energy, increased focus, and you're not hungry so much anymore. So it makes it easy to maintain it. I don't do it 100%. Once in a while you could have a cheat day or a cheat weekend. But overall, I think it's a really good way to manage your weight and stay thinner and in my mind, healthier.
What's your favorite form of exercise?
It's a great question. Probably hiking. I hike a lot. I pretty much do I do free weights every other day, and I try to hike every other day.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are some of your favorite hiking trails?
Well, I bought a house near Kennesaw Mountain, so I'm there all the time. I was doing about 20 miles on the weekend, a little bit less lately. I got a dog to kind of hike with. And, so he's a puppy, so he can't go that far yet. I've taken him 6 miles a bunch of times. He's a good dog, but the trails. I also like a buddy of mine took me over to I believe it's Red Top Mountain, and there's some great trails up there, backside of the dam over there. But there's apps that you can get all trails, and there's all kinds of stuff out there that you could download apps. And we're lucky here. I mean, I grew up in South Florida where it's just flat and there's no hiking, there's no trails here. You don't have to go far to get in some waterfalls, mountainous terrain, and to me, it's just very chicken soup for the soul. I mean, it's just spiritual. It's a great way to spend your time. I can speak for myself. I'm addicted to my cell phone. I spend way too much time on it.
Oh, yeah.
So hiking is a great way to unplug, put it down, and just enjoy nature, the wide open spaces, and it's an awesome way to burn calories and have a great time.
So for somebody like me, I want to get back. I want to get back active. I want to get back moving. What's a good starting point? Thinking about my foot health, thinking about proper shoe gear, how far I need to start to distance myself. What's a good starting point?
That's a great question, and I would tell you that that you want to me to get to be a successful program that you want to stick to. It's it might be easy to get started, but you just want to do what you're passionate about. So if you're passionate about running, then you want to walk before you run, but get back into that. If you love to swim, you got to find a pool somehow. Whatever you're passionate about. If some people like jujitsu and love the martial arts, it's just whatever is going to pique your interest and use your mind, and it's going to make it not seem like work. I would tell you that of all the sports, tennis is my favorite because I can run around and chase that ball and it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like work. So for me, hiking doesn't feel like work. Tennis doesn't feel like work. So there are things out there to burn calories that in an ideal world, it'd be great to figure out what you're passionate about. Pick a sport that you're passionate about, you can work at, and then it feels fun and it doesn't feel like exercise. But if not, for a lot of us, you can just start walking, whether you walk a mile, see how it feels, just get the clothes on, to me, everything's a habit. Okay. So you have to decide that I'm going to prioritize my body, that my mind, everybody has a compassion for love. They want to be kind. And we live our life, and that's being carried around by this mechanical body that we have. It's just none of us make it out alive, and it's important to take care of. Do you want to me, you want to be good to your future self. So decide that you want to eat as fuel that goes in your body, and the exercise that you do is just taking care of your body, burning calories, increasing your cardiovascular health. That way you have a clearer mind, and as you get older, you could function properly and be the best you can for your wife, husband, kids, grandkids, whatever it is. Wow. The community you can give back by, it has to start with taking care of yourself. Otherwise, you're no good to anybody else.
Now, how do I know when I need to see a podiatrist? I'm starting to have a little pain, a little pain here and there, type of stuff.
That's enough. A little pain, in your foot and ankle, definitely come to a podiatrist. That's a great way to have it checked out. A lot of patients nowadays, we got Google, and a lot of people make the correct diagnosis. Some people are way off, but we're still at a day and age where a lot of things people don't have access to. So maybe they know that they have gout, but they can't give themselves medication. So not only are you getting a second opinion, not only are you getting a professional diagnosis rather than you looking stuff up, you can get on a bad rabbit hole and be way off. And then also there's treatments that we're trained to do that, again, there are some treatments you could do at home, but there are some treatments that you really can't do without a licensed medical professional.
Now, do you think this access to information that we have now, because I think we're in a process of information overload, which is just as dangerous as not having it. But do you think all the access that we have to information is hurting us kind of as a society? Like people, maybe you're reading a little bit too much and maybe you just need to go ahead and call the doctor instead of trying to self-diagnose. Like, do you think that's hurting us now?
I don't think it's hurting us at all. I always believe information is good. The issue becomes, there's a saying where, you shouldn't be your own lawyer. You shouldn't represent yourself. In a law case, you shouldn't be your own doctor. It's just, and I don't doctor myself. I have an ailment, I would go see somebody. I have a primary care physician. I think it's smart and it's in your best interest to, it's good to be very educated and learn as much as you can. It's almost like any subject. You start researching it, you're going to know just as much as your doctor probably in that subject. But again, you can't prescribe yourself medication. And it's good to have somebody else to make that diagnosis, because you could be focused on one particular symptom, but then the ailment that you think you have is right away ruled out by somebody with a lot of experience. And they know, well, if it's just that, then it's not this. But it's always good to get information and to be educate yourself. There's nothing wrong with it. I just wouldn't treat yourself based on that. And I think that's where we cross the line, is if you try to be your own doctor, you try to be your own lawyer, whatever it is, the field that you're in and you do and you're good at, focus on that. And if you have pain and you have ailments, it's always good to seek professional treatment. Even if you're a professional, if you're a doctor, it's good to go see another doctor if you're having an issue. Now, can patients just come directly to see you, or do they have to go to a medical doctor and get a referral because you're a specialist? No, great question. So almost, it depends on their insurance plan, but almost all plans, it's unusual to need a referral to see a podiatrist these days. You could always call the office and find out, or call your plan and find out if you need a referral. But most people do not need a referral to come see us. And what's some of the most common things that you see? Most common things? We see a lot of plantar fasciitis, heel pain. We see a lot of ingrown toenails. We see bunions, hammer toes. We see diabetic wounds, trauma, foreign bodies, especially with the summertime now. There's been a couple of increased things that we see. So a lot of people go from a supportive shoe, and then it's nice weather out, so they're wearing flip-flops, they're wearing sandals, and they don't quite give the support typically that a supportive shoe would give you. So we see increased PT tendonitis, peroneal tendonitis. We see you can get burned from walking on pavement that's too hot. We see people at the beach barefoot. We see foreign bodies, glass in their feet. We see a lot of trauma where you're more barefoot, and whether you're stubbing your toe into something or creating some type of injury without having protection on your feet. Wow. Okay. Now, if somebody listening is having some issues or having some foot problems, how can they get in contact with you and find out more about Georgia Podiatry? Oh, they can go to www.georgiapodiatry.com. They can give us a call at the office, 678-310-0540. And we're accepting new patients, and we would love to see you in the office for a professional opinion about what's going on. Now, have you guys started the telehealth visits just yet? We did. It's funny because we thought about that for a while, and then Corona, I think, really kicked that off for everybody. Everybody kind of wasn't sure about it, and you think as a podiatrist, I got to kind of feel and see what's going on. But we are able to do a lot of telemedicine nowadays, and I think that'll be growing in the future. For sure, there are some things that you'd have to come in for. I always envision maybe you go to some center and there'll be some medical professional, maybe a nurse or physician assistant, and they could you could ask for stuff and then people could feel and give you that feedback. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Well, once again, Dr. Evan Brody with Georgia Podiatry, thank you so much for joining us today. And if you want to get in contact with Dr. Brody, or if you got questions, or if you definitely need to see a podiatrist, go to georgiapodiatry.com. All the information that you need there. 2 practices, 2 locations, right here at Austell and Kennesaw. Once again, man, thank you so much for joining us right here on the #1 rated business show. And we will be right back. Kevin, thank you so much.
Kids follow your lead. Help them stay healthy. Wash your hands. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or mouth. And cover coughs and sneezes. Clean and disinfect the objects you touch often, like your phone, remote, and doorknobs. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. And if you're the one who's sick, stay home. This station is part of the Beasley Best Community of Caring, and we care about your family. For more info, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
Sweet strawberry icing. You're in Goodwill, and just past that vintage denim jacket, you spot miniature donut earrings. You lean in. Ah, that's the scent of shopping success. Because at Goodwill, every item you buy funds local job training and more. So bring home those donut earrings and bring home so much good to your community. Goodwill. Bring good home. Brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Hey folks, Handsome Josh is here to reveal some big news to all the AM 1100 listeners.
I have an app.
That's right, you can now check out all your favorite programs right here on The Real with the Real 1100 app. Whether it's sports, entertainment, or lifestyle, the Real 1100 definitely has you covered.
So why don't you just tell me how much it's going to cost me?
And here's the best part. It's available in your Google Play or Apple App Store, and it's free to download.
Actually, you can count me in on this one.
So download the Real 1100 app today and stay in tune with The Real.
Woo! I just got to do it. I don't know why. We are back right here on the #1 rated business show. I'm your host once again, Kevin C. Pride, and I am joined by my guest, Dr. Joseph Fowler and Dr. Brandon Williams from Align for Life Chiropractic. How are we doing today, fellas?
We are doing well this afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Thank you for having us, brother.
Oh, not a problem, man. Y'all been working today. Y'all work today?
Oh, man. We put in a few man hours,
That's
you know.
right. Got to lay hands. You know?
Yeah, there you go.
Now, one big thing I definitely got to ask you about: how is COVID affecting your business? Because it's hands on. It's no telemedicine for what you guys do, right?
No, not at all. So I mean, it definitely has had an effect. We've had to kind of pivot, given the current climate that we're in. So obviously we're still seeing patients on a day-to-day basis, but as such, we've had to put in additional safety precautions.
Okay.
Of course, we're wearing masks, protective equipment. Sanitizing equipment, taking things of that nature. She add a extra layer of protection between ourselves and our patients, and gloves and all that good stuff. Right. So
things that I would want to see a chiropractor for.
So a chiropractor, you would want to see a chiropractor for pretty much anything. See, as a chiropractor, we take care of your nervous system.
Okay.
Your nervous system runs your entire body. All the other systems, heart, immune, respiratory, reproductive, muscular, skeletal, it doesn't matter. By the nervous system. So if the nervous system is not operating properly, the system is going to operate properly. So a lot of people think of us as just being doctors. Yeah, that's true. We do take care of the back.
Okay.
But we're known as back doctors because spine that we put on as arm doctors.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So it runs the gamut: headache, sinus issues. We have cancer patients, stroke patients, babies. Our youngest patient to date, 3 days old.
Wow.
Oldest patient, 99. And so we take care of athletes, dancers. It doesn't matter. Everybody needs this.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Now, you guys both are also very big on wellness.
Absolutely.
Now, when you start talking about wellness, are you talking about diet? That was
all of it, and big on wellness is because your health is your wealth. As you have it, wellness runs the gamut. So it's a combination of nutrition, exercise, proper chiropractic care, and proper rest. Those are the 4 pillars that we operate by.
Wow.
All of which work in tandem to optimize your overall health.
Right. You see, nothing exists alone. Issues that the mainstream medical have, in my opinion, is they look at an individual body part, like the heart or the liver or the spleen, but they all work in tandem, as Doc said. And so if something is going on with a part, whether it be muscle or whatever, the other parts of your body are adapting to that. The question is it adapting properly?
Wow. Now, you mentioned sleep.
Right.
What is it that you guys do for sleep? Because I'm having a hard problem. Since I turned 40, I can't sleep no more. I don't know why.
well, part of the reason, Kevin, you're one of the hardest working men in Atlanta.
I'm glad you
don't
know
have
that's
time for sleep.
Right.
But it comes with obviously proper work-life balance.
Yeah. Okay.
Trying to get to bed each night, at a particular time and try to set a schedule, a regimen for yourself. The best hours of sleep are between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m.
Really?
And many of us, we fall outside of that range, so either, most of us are going to sleep, at the tail end of that range or beyond that range. But proper rest is key. The average individual wants to get at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep per night. Because our body rests and heals and regenerates and rejuvenates in that sleep pattern. So if we're not getting proper sleep, our bodies are not able to get the proper rest and rejuvenation that they need.
That's right.
I don't think I've seen 10 o'clock going to bed since I was probably about 8, 9 years old.
That's what I'm saying. Right. You need to take some notes.
That's right.
Now, tell us a little bit about you guys are about to open a brand new location.
Absolutely.
Down in Jonesboro, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us
South Atlanta area. Yes, sir.
Right, on Jonesboro Road, but South Atlanta.
Okay. Now, how long have you guys been in chiropractic?
So we have about 15 years of combined experience between the two of us. Dr. Joe, I met Dr. Joe about 10 years ago.
Okay.
In chiropractic school up in Marietta, Georgia at Life University. And we've been thick as thieves ever since.
My brother from another mother.
There you go. So we knew that this day was going to be coming. Where we were going to combine our talents and go into business together.
Right.
So 10 years later, we're here. So yes, to your point, we are opening a new venture down in South Atlanta. We're going to be up and running in about 6 weeks' time.
Yes.
So we're very excited to move into the next chapter.
Yeah. Now tell us a little bit about some of the things that you guys treat as being chiropractors. I know you're big on sports medicine and auto injuries. What's some of the other conditions and things that you guys treat?
So as Dr. Fowler mentioned earlier, it runs the gamut. We treat a lot of wellness patients. So when we say wellness, that could be the individuals that, that may have a chronic issue. They may have chronic headaches or chronic neck pain, chronic back pain. They may have digestive issues. They may have reproductive issues.
Right.
And you can fix that through chiropractic?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
As Dr. Fowler mentioned, we treat the nervous system. And because the nervous system runs and operates and is the foundation for all of the other systems in the body.
Right.
By working with the nervous system, we have the ability to affect change in all of those other systems.
So, like for example, erectile dysfunction.
Okay.
That's big.
It is big,
especially if you suffer from it.
And I'm not talking. Look, let me leave. I'm keep it clean. All right. So the thing is the area, that sexual area, is a muscle.
Okay.
All right. Penis is a muscle. Muscles need nerve innervation and they need blood flow.
Okay.
Right? So when I'm talking with my guys about erectile dysfunction, we're not just talking about that because as men we like to beat our chests and what we can do and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, if that area is lacking nerve supply and blood flow, what other area in the body is lacking that? Because remember what I said earlier, nothing exists in your body alone. Everything is connected. So if something is going on somewhere in the body, other parts of your body is adapting. The question is it adapting properly? In the proper adaptation could be heart problems.
Okay.
Another improper adaptation could be metabolism issues, low, high, So again,
right.
Yes.
Absolutely. It's a cause and effect. And too often in the what I like to call the sick care model that we have in this country, we focus more on the effect and not the cause.
Okay.
So if we're looking merely at the symptom, we may be missing the cause of that system, that symptom. So you really have to trace back and look at the patient as and the overall holistic individual to get to the root cause of a lot of these issues that we face today.
Wow. Now you guys are really redefining chiropractic because everybody that we done talk to about chiropractic is all about cracking your neck and back and all that type of stuff.
It is
Y'all
so
are really
much-
doing some revolutionary things.
And absolutely, and that's why we're so big on educating our patients in the community, Kevin, because people need to get a true understanding of what chiropractic is.
Right.
And far too often we find that, at least it's been my experience, and Dr. Fowler's as well too, people just have a misunderstanding of what it is. So that's why we have to go above and beyond to educate folks and make sure that they get a true understanding so they can get the most out of it.
Right. Wow. Because see, the thing about it, Kev, mainstream medical does not necessarily want people to truly know what chiropractors do.
Wow.
Again, what we do is natural. Our ancestors, you think about our ancestors, centuries ago, our ancestors didn't heal themselves through all these synthetic drugs and all that. Well, how did they do it? They did it naturally. This is one, as a matter of fact, chiropractic is the #1 complementary alternative medicine in the world.
Wow.
Yeah. So getting it natural, going back to the natural. And I think, and we talked about, you talked about COVID earlier. And, God has shut this whole world down so that we can reboot. And what we're stressing that everybody needs to reboot into chiropractic.
Okay.
Invest in yourself.
That's
Invest
right.
in yourself and
That's
your
right.
overall health.
That's right.
And we're not saying that there's not a place for conventional medicine.
Sure.
Everything has its
Everything
place.
has its place,
But focus on your overall health first, and focus on conservative means first. So that's what we want to hone in. There's a place, a time and a place for everything.
Yes, for sure.
Now I know you guys also are big on preaching this wellness to our community, to the Black community, because traditionally it's definitely not been something that's been big in our community. I mean, medicine alone is not something that's just hugely big in our community, but chiropractic definitely not. Why do you feel such an importance to start teaching this to our community?
Because knowledge is power.
Yes.
And because our health is our wealth.
Our health is our wealth.
Take it back to COVID. You mentioned earlier. I saw a statistic the other day. The average uninsured patient that comes down with COVID and has to be admitted to the hospital is going to walk out with an average of a $75,000 bill.
Wow.
So we have to look at our health as the #1 tool that's going to help to sustain us. And we have to do that with education.
Right.
So I know a lot of us have white coat syndrome, or we may have, negative experiences when it comes to, our health and encounters with doctors and things of that nature. But that's something it's something you need to embrace and not, shy away from.
Right.
Know your health, know your health status, know your numbers, get checked off, and, take your health into, take the reins over your health. And not let things linger until, unfortunately it gets to a point to where you can't come back from.
Right. Because, right now the elephant in the room is COVID. And but one of the things that you always hear is that the people who have these conditions that before COVID, the diabetes, the hypertension and all that. Well, the thing is, if you have all that going on, it's not just COVID that can take hold of you. Any virus or disease can take hold of you, because all of that reduces your immune system.
Okay.
All right. And so that just goes back to the digestive system, what we talked about. And because 80 to 90% of your immune system lies in your digestive system. So if you're not having proper nutrition, if you're not eating right, if you are eating right before you lay down, which again causes issues with you sleeping, not being able to sleep well, because your body is fighting, trying to digest, and you trying to sleep. So that's a topic for a whole nother.
I was gonna say he like he accusing me or something.
So yeah.
Now you also explain. Let's just rewind a little bit. Explain holistic medicine a little bit, because I think a lot of people mistake what that actually means. What is holistic medicine? What is that?
Okay. Holistic medicine, to me, this is Dr. Williams's definition of holistic medicine. We all may have our own individual definition.
Right.
To me, is the whole organism.
Yes.
Okay.
In my tradition, I believe that we came from the earth.
Okay.
And once we die, we return to the earth.
Right.
God placed everything on this planet that we needed to survive and thrive.
Okay.
That to me is the foundation of holism. We being the whole organism. A lot of people don't know there's no cure for the common cold.
That's true.
Right? If you catch a cold right now and you take absolutely nothing for it, in a few days you will be cured of it. You cut your hand right now you get a paper cut in a couple of days, it's going to heal on its own with absolutely no intervention.
Right.
So that's holism.
Okay.
God has given us everything that we need to survive and thrive. As chiropractors, what we do is we help to ensure that environment, lifestyle, and things such as that don't interfere with what God has already given us.
Right.
Wow.
And so we take on the meaning of health. Now there may be people may have their own definitions of health and all that, but health is not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. It is the complete mental, physical, and social well-being of a person. And so Dr. Williams and myself, that's what we take on. We take on all of that. So when you come in to see us, we hear what you're coming into us for, that headache, that stomach ache, that muscle pain, or whatever. But we're also looking at the whole.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I suffer from headaches a lot.
Mm-hmm.
What's some of the things that you would recommend for headaches?
Well, first of all, we need to check you out to make sure you don't have any misalignments that could be causing that.
Okay.
One of the leading causes of headache, believe it or not, is a misalignment of the C1 vertebra.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Which is the very first vertebra in the spinal chain. So we would ensure that you don't have any interference in your spine that could be causing that. But we'd also have a conversation with you about your lifestyles, diet, level of stress,
Right.
Sleeping patterns, all that. Because again, everything works together.
Right. Exercise, all that. It's all it's like when you're in school, you don't take just one class.
Okay.
You take multiple classes, right? And so if you do good in one class, but you fail in all the other classes, you're gonna fail that quarter.
That's
You
true.
will get kept back.
The chain is only as strong as the weakest
That's
link.
right. So what we have to do is we got to stop getting kept back in our health.
I hear you. Now, what makes Align for Life different than most chiropractic practices?
A lot of the things that we've been talking about, we take a different approach with our patients.
Yeah.
We're not just looking at symptoms. We're not just looking at the headache. We're not just looking at the neck pain. We're not just looking at the fact that you may have been in a car accident. We're looking at you as the individual.
Right.
When you come in to see us, we're going to take a complete health history. Okay. We're going to go all the way back from the day you were born up to, the day that you come to see us.
That's right.
Because we want to treat you as the holistic individual that you are, not just for the symptom that you may be coming in to see us for.
Right.
So that's very important.
Right.
Not to say that other practitioners aren't doing that, but that is something that we focus and emphasize when you come to see us at Align for Life.
Right. We don't treat you like you're on an assembly line. we do not. Yeah, you are treated as if you are in a boutique, because that's what we are.
Now, y'all also said y'all treat reproductive problems. That's intriguing to me. Explain that just a little bit.
We know of several individuals that had fertility issues prior to receiving chiropractic care.
Yes.
One of which is a very good friend of mine. She had undergone fertility treatments for a number of years. And had gone several different routes unsuccessfully, but one of the last things that she tried, partly to my suggestion, was chiropractic.
Wow.
And in 6 months she was pregnant with her first child.
Now, what was that you were able to do? Was that through some type of spine manipulation or body manipulation or supplements or?
Yeah, I mean, for us, it starts with the chiropractic adjustment.
Yes.
Okay.
By removing the interferences in the nervous system. So, like I said, we take care of the nervous system. So the first system that develops after conception. So after mom and dad gets through playing and the baby is conceived, the first system that develops is the central nervous system, which consists of the brain and spinal cord. After that, God wraps bone around it. For the brain, it's the skull. For the spinal cord, it's the spinal bone or vertebra. After that develops, then all the nerves of the body come out. Then after that develops all the organs, heart, liver, spleen, all that. So we have the ability to positively affect anything that's going on with you because we clear the interferences from the system. So like what Dr. Williams is talking about, the sister that was having the issue, her brain, let's just say, was not communicating properly to the reproductive area. And so when you clear that system, along with some other things, nutrition, all that kind of stuff, but when you clear the nervous system, it allows for proper communication to occur and thus baby.
Wow.
In that case.
Wow. That is amazing.
It is. I tell you.
Now, do you guys prescribe medicine, or is it more like supplemental regimens, or how do you deal with that?
As chiropractors, we do not prescribe medication. We do make supplemental prescriptions and things like that. We, suggest certain supplements, dietary recommendations to our patients, but we leave the medicine prescription to our medical counterparts.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we are slowly approaching the end of the show, but I want to make sure that everybody can get out. If somebody wants to get in contact with you, if they're having some problems, they just want to learn more about chiropractic medicine, how can people get in contact with you?
All right, so we have our new website that's going to be launching here in the coming days, www.alignedforlifewellness.com. That's number 4 aligned, number 4 lifewellness.com. And my email, Dr. Williams, is B as in boy, WILL, D as in dog, C as in Charlie, @gmail.com.
Yes. And mine is JF Fine Spines, and that's JFPHINES @gmail.com.
All right. Any parting words before you go? What should we be doing as far as wellness? Just general wellness. What should everybody be doing? I know eating right, but more than that, what should we all be doing?
Well, the first thing I'll say is, and I say this to all my patients and my female patients, particularly like this, and that is, if you want to be fine, take care of your spine. Now, when I say fine, I'm not just talking about outside. We like to look at the outside, the inside as well. So it doesn't matter, exercise, water. We have, and again, we're talking about a lot of topics we can go off into other shows with, but the sleep. I mean, you touched on a lot of it. What you need to be doing right now to not only help you, but help you avoid the covoid and all the rest of it.
Wow.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to stick to the 4 pillars. If you do these 4 things, you're going to get a long way in life. All right. Proper rest, proper nutrition, proper chiropractic, and just take care of yourself.
Take care.
Okay.
Right.
Take care of yourself.
That's right.
It's that simple. God made us simple, but yet complex at the same time.
Right.
But if we stick to the 4 pillars that we've mentioned in this show,
right.
Especially during the time of COVID-19 and whatever else we may be going through in life, you'll be fine.
Auto accident, wellness care, slip and fall. We take care of it all.
I love it. Once again, when are you guys having that opening for the new location and a new office?
So it's going to be beginning of September, and of course, we're going to update our social media and our website
for sure
when that time comes. So anybody that's in the Atlanta area, we'd love to have you guys come out. We'd love to speak with you, answer any questions you might have, and of course, we'd love to be able to put hands on you, as Dr.
Lay hands on. That's right. We lay hands.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Joseph Fowler, Dr. Brandon Williams from Align for Life Chiropractic. Thank y'all so much for joining the show. Once again, it has been another episode of the #1 rated business show right here on the Real 1100 AM. I'm your host, Kevin C. Pride. You can follow me on social media at IamKC Pride on all channels. Until next week, we are out.